was wondering...
we are going on holiday. He wants some beachwear.
Yes, I want some beachwear.
Robes and swimming trunks.
Yes, a robe and some swimming trunks.
I've just said that, Claude.
Yes, she's just said that.
Yes. Mr. Granger, are you free for beachwear?
I'm sorry, Captain Peacock, but I'm brim steaming.
A lovely action you have there, Mr. Gray.
Are you free, Mr. Lucas?
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Peacock. This lady's looking for something large in Y-fronts.
Where's Mr. Humphreys? Is he free?
I'm free. Just had a disaster with my braces. I stooped to conquer an inside leg. There was a loud ping, and I had to finish up the customer with my hands in my pocket.
This lady says that this gentleman requires beachwear.
Oh, my word, doesn't the year fly quickly? 1 minute it's so come all ye faithful, the next minute you're flat on your back in the sand. It's hard to know which one enjoys the most. Now, what did Sir have in mind? We have Bermudas down to there, we have the shorts up to there, and we have the briefs up to there. Anything else is in the sports department.
We were thinking of going to the Orkneys.
How about some Irish tweed collars?
Now, don't worry if the wig is a little loose, madam. You'll find it will ride up with wear. Anyway, what was I saying?
You're in this pub on your own?
Oh, yes, I was just ordering a bottle of champagne for my birthday.
Your birthday? Oh, we haven't missed it, have we?
Oh, no. It's not for 3 days yet.
I was going to say, we haven't had a collection yet.
Oh, you mustn't think of buying anything for me. Well, not much, anyway. Anyway, as I was saying, isn't it funny how you get into conversation with people? I mean, there I was sitting on this stool, and this man was right over at the other side. And all I did was take my shoe off and bang it on the counter to knock a nail back in. And he looked up and smiled. Well, after that, he must have been interested. And he must have been watching, because the minute I dropped my handbag and my change went all over the floor, he was on his knees, helping me.
Oh, was he good looking?
Well, you know that film where Steve McQueen played a racing driver with a limp?
He didn't look like Steve McQueen, did he?
Well, no, but he had a very similar limp.
There you are, sir. Would Madam care to see the shorts?
Oh, yes, of course.
Madam would care to see the shorts.
You are getting absent-minded.
It's a good job he remembered his wife, Ron.
Mr. Harmon, how many times have I told you not to present yourself on the floor during opening hours?
It must be awful for you keep telling me off like that. It's making you frown. And if you keep frowning, you're going to look older and older. And Mrs. Peacock will find a younger man and leave you, and you'll go all to pieces and have to retire just because I keep coming on this floor, which I've every right to do since I got to deliver this to the gents department.
Have you quite finished?
Put it over here and connect it up.
What on earth is this?
It's the new model for if you want to get a head, get a hat wig.
That is why I was doing my brim steaming, Captain Peacock.
Mr. Granger's often shown me how to brim, steam, and shape, but I get the wrist action wrong. Every time I do it, it goes limp. Your wrist or the brim?
That's it. Perhaps you'd like me to give you a demonstration.
Carry on, Mr. Harmon.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Well, that'll come in handy if you're carrying a couple of suitcases and you bump into the Queen.
That's funny. The eyes are supposed to light up as well.
Perhaps they only do that if the Queen's actually there.
Yes, well, now you've delivered it, Mr. Harmon. Please leave.
I can't. I've got another one for Mr. Slocum. Henry! Here, Mr. Slocum. It's the new model for the flexi girdle. It contains a figure what's out of control.
Captain Peacock, I hope that is not going to distract attention from my hat.
We're all working for the same store, Mr. Granger.
Well, I don't think it's fair. He moves and talks. Mine doesn't do anything.
Don't underestimate the Flexi Girdle Corporation.
Oh, well, I rushed on ahead to give them a chance to talk about my birthday.
I haven't reminded them yet.
Haven't you? Not that it matters, of course, but they'll be so upset if they find they've forgotten it.
Well, I haven't had time.
Anyway, should the conversation crop up, I'll leave the table and then you can have a confab. Only remember, I've got an ironing board and an iron and a coffee partner too. Anyway, as I said to Mrs. Axelby, if Richard Burton wants to give Elizabeth Taylor a diamond ring worth £2 million for her birthday, that's entirely...
No, I can't remember whether this is chicken soup or vegetable.
Well, taste it.
Well, that's not going to make any difference. Oh, that's confused everything. It's got a fishbone in it.
It's not a fishbone, it's a hair grip.
It's game soup.
I always think the grapefruit segments are safer.
That's what that fly thought, and he was wrong. It killed him.
You know, it's so expensive to eat out these days. And I took Mrs. Peacock to a little candlelit Greek taverna the other night for an ouzo and a gurunopoulou. Nothing particularly.
Of course.
And with a taramasalata and a potiri of raki to finish, it came to nearly £6.
Nightlight robbery.
Was it her birthday?
No.
No one has to take one's wife out occasionally for an airing.
You make her sound like a spaniel.
She doesn't look at least like it.
Mind you, he has to tie her ears back when she's having the soup.
You're a junior, Mr. Lucas.
She has very beautiful ears. They give her a very pretty profile. Mind you, head on, it's a bit of a shock.
Well, I don't go out unless it's a special occasion.
Like a birthday?
I stay at home, you know, and do something exotic. Every now and again, my mother gets the Jimmy Young recipe book off the shelf, and we have a few friends round, and then we watch Warship.
Do you eat it while you watch it?
Only if it's calm. Then we pass the grog round, and we all take it in turns to pretend to be the commander getting cross.
Does your mother play the Admiral?
Only if she promises to go to bed early.
Well, I suppose she stays up late on her birthday. Anyway, while you all talk about birthdays, I'll just go and have a word with Miss Camlosi in cosmetics.
What was all that about?
It was her idea of a subtle hint. In 3 days' time, it's her birthday.
So what?
Well, it is one of her Grace Brothers' traditions, Mr. Lucas, that the departments club together to buy a little present on these occasions.
Oh, well, that's easy. Miss Brandt is the ladies' department. She can club herself together and get something really nice.
Oh, you mean as well as being oversexed.
The whole floor will club together, Mr. Lucas. Any suggestions?
I vote we give her a cyanide tablet. No, I take that back.
Good.
2 cyanide tablets. In case the first one doesn't work.
Mr. Granger still blames Mrs. Slocum's corset display for giving his revolving hat a nervous breakdown.
I think we should make it 50p a head.
25p for juniors.
You're not that junior.
You're going to have to bung in more than that. It's her 50th.
What makes you think that, Miss Brown?
Apart from her appearance.
Well, she happened to let it out last year that she's the same age as her cat. Now, she bought that cat in 1968.
Which makes Mrs. Slocum 7 years old.
No, in the animal kingdom, 1 year counts for 7.
Now, wait a minute, let me get this straight. That's 7 times 50, that makes 350. I wouldn't argue with that.
The cat was 49 last year.
Right, which makes Mrs. Slocum 50.
Yes, we shall have to do something special to mark the occasion.
Well, I've already suggested a cyanide tablet.
Well, in view of this information, I think perhaps we should make it £1 a head.
Yeah, well, if Rumbold chips in, that'd make it £6.
Well, even that's not a lot these days.
Oh, I don't know. It's dinner for one, twice, at Captain Peacock's taverna with gurunopoulou.
I'm not putting a quid in until somebody proves that she's 50.
This is a pity we can't ask the cat.
It's very difficult, you know, to get to know a lady's age. I keep asking my mother. She always says I'm as old as my nose and a little bit older than my teeth.
I'm a great deal older than my teeth.
Look, how are we going to find out?
Well, it should be in her confidential records in personnel.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing a Watergate on her records.
Or perhaps we might sort of tie it up with a national event.
What do you mean?
Well, for instance, the Jarrow March. Now, that was in 1936. Now, if she remembers having seen it when she was 10, that will prove that she was 50.
Suppose the Jarrow March didn't go past her house.
I shouldn't think it would. She was born in Blackpool.
I'm suggesting it's easy. I mean, this is simply a method.
Look, I've got a diary here that's got important events listed.
Oh, well, go on, read it out then.
Oh, I can't. The print's a bit small.
Allow me. My goodness, it is small, isn't it? Now, then, let's have a look at 1926. Now, that's the year that we're assuming she was born. Now, yes, here we are. Now, let's see if she remembers any of these. Ibn Saud proclaimed king of the Hejaz in Jeddah.
That would stick in one's mind.
Cologne evacuated by British troops. Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, burned down.
Is that all?
That's all, no?
Quiet, yeah, wasn't it?
Nothing about the general strike. We all had to give a hand, you know. I drove an ambulance.
You did by any chance pick up Mrs. Slocum's mother and take her to a maternity home?
I hope I'm not interrupting a private discussion.
No. We were just discussing memory and seeing how far back we could go.
From our earliest years.
As Mr. Granger here well remembers, Ibn Saud proclaimed king of the Hejaz in Jeddah.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah, so there was dancing in the street.
Does that ring a bell with you, Mrs. Slocum?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Does the British Army ceasing to use cologne mean anything to you?
I didn't know they'd even started.
What's your earliest memory, Mrs. Slocum?
I remember as if it was yesterday. I had this uncle with a big red face and a great big moustache. He put his face right into me cup and he went...
I don't suppose that was in the diary.
And then another time I remember waking up in my cot and the place was filled with smoke.
Stratford?
No more come.
Don't suppose you'd see it from there.
There you are, madam. And do bring the garment back if you find that your daughter can't get into a 48. Now then. Well, I haven't had a chance to ask you. How did you get on? Did you drop the hint?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, how did you manage it? I mean, subtly introduce it into the conversation.
I said it was your birthday.
Mind you, they shouldn't think of buying me anything.
Oh, they weren't.
You are?
No, they weren't. They were discussing how much to divvy up.
Well, any little thing will do. I mean, it's the thought that counts, just a token. Now, those simulated foxes are rather nice, aren't they? And they're ever so reasonably new at £18.
I don't think we can manage that.
Well, of course, I could make a reduction. And then offer staff discount. Come to think of it, it's rather shop soiled, isn't it? So that's a further reduction. How about 11 quid?
You're getting warmer.
Oh, look, there's a little hole in the lining. Well, of course, that makes it seconds.
Would that bring it anywhere to near £6?
Exactly. I'll just mark the ticket. £6. Slightly soiled.
Oh, that looks lovely. £6, did you say? I'll take it.
Sale, Mrs. Slocum.
I'm afraid so, Miss Brahms.
Are you free, Captain Peacock?
At the moment, Mr. Lucas, yeah.
I've just come from the pet department. They've checked the pussy book, and Mrs. Slocum definitely bought a new one in 1969. That means that she's 50.
And her pussy's 56.
Don't complicate things, Mr. Humphrey.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, there's Harmon over there. If he chips in, that'll take 16.5% off the ante.
You're very good at figures when it comes to being mean.
Excellent idea, Mr. Lucas. Mr. Harmon, 1 moment, please.
Yes, Captain Peacock.
Mr. Harmon, it's Mrs. Slocum's 50th birthday, and we're all putting in £1. What do you say?
I'm not allowed on the floor during working hours. I suppose Mrs. Slocum wouldn't care to put £1 in.
Well, at least the cake won't cost anything.
Why not?
Well, I've got this lovely tall friend in the patisserie.
Trust you.
She's a very nice girl. She likes doing different things with cakes, you know. So I've given her a lot of Mrs. Slocum's background, and she's going to do something exotic with 50 candles.
Excellent, Mr. Humphrey, yes. And we'll all give it to her when the store closes on her birthday.
What do we do with the 6 quid?
I'm not even sure we've got 6 quid. I mean, if old Rumbold does a Harmon on us.
Yes, well, things are a bit slack at the moment. Let's go to his office and ask him.
£1, even allowing for inflation, seems rather a lot.
Well, Mr. Granger did have a less expensive suggestion, but after general discussion, we decided to err on the side of generosity.
Oh, very well.
Thank you, sir. I wondered if on this special occasion young Mr. Grace would care to make a contribution.
Oh, we can soon find out.
Mr. Grace here. You're very faint. You'll have to speak up a bit.
You're very faint. You'll have to speak up.
I said it first.
Perhaps you've got the phone round the wrong way again, sir.
Have I? That better?
I think it's as good as we're going to get.
Excuse me, sir.
Not now, I'm on the phone.
Allow me.
Oh, thank you.
We're making secret arrangements for Mrs. Slocum's birthday.
Don't need to shout.
Would you care to make a contribution, sir?
Well, yes, put me down for £0.50. How old is she?
No, it's not half crowns now, sir. We've gone metric. It's new pence of which the pound has 100.
What is that?
100.
Oh, she should be retired. Well, as she stayed such a long time, I'll make it £5.
Young Mr. Grace has generously agreed to contribute 25 pence. How much have we got altogether?
£6.25.
Have you decided what to give her?
No, before making that decision, we decided to await the result of young Mr. Grace's contribution, sir.
It hasn't made a lot of difference.
I could probably manage 15 cut-price vouchers for a canteen lunch.
Rather along the lines you were thinking of, Mr. Granger.
Don't you think that's a little impersonal?
How about a voucher from the pet department? To give her a new pussy when hers wears out.
How about a voucher from Madame Beryl's beauty parlour for her special spring facial?
No, not for Mrs. Slocum. For £6.25, you wouldn't get enough cement to fill the cracks.
Yes, there's one good thing, sir. We've got a very nice cake.
Yeah, a friend of Mr. Humphreys is making it in patisserie.
I'm sure he'll do it very well.
I'd like to make it quite clear that being of an affectionate nature, I have many friends of all shapes, sizes and sexes. Even this morning I had some amorous advances from a rag and bowman's horse, which I repulsed.
I'm sure you've made it quite clear where you stand, Mr. Humphreys.
What sex was the horse?
When you've got hoofs trampling on the cobbles behind you, you don't stop to ask questions.
Well, the actual gift I leave to you, but I do think it's time we did something about the way we present the cake.
It's going to be served on a solid silver-plated salver.
I mean the way we sing Happy Birthday to you. We do tend to rush through it. I think, as it's her half-century, we ought to make it really good.
Well, there was a transport strike on, sir, when we sang it to you, and we were in rather a hurry.
The only person to get right through it was Mr. Granger.
Yes, I remember. My scarf had caught in the till.
Well, anyhow, let's try specially hard for Mrs. Slocum. We'll have a little rehearsal when the store closes, Here's your note, Mr. Humphreys. A flat.
You have to hang on a minute. I'm phoning my mother to tell her I shall be late. Hello, dear. Yes, well, look, you have yours and leave mine in the oven. Well, I don't know what time I shall be there. We're having a sort of rehearsal. It's like a choir. No, it's nothing to do with the vicar. That was all in the past. Of course I've got the right key. Trouble is, I keep going in the wrong flat. No, it isn't the story of my life. All the stairs in that block look alike. Yes. Well, you better go, or your greens will need straining now. Wish she'd get married again.
Now, before we start, what is her name?
Mrs. Slocum.
Yes, I meant her first name. Well, surely somebody must know. You, Miss Brahms, you must have heard it.
Well, she calls me Shirley, but I always call her Mrs. Slocum. Even her best friend, Mrs. Astleby, always calls her Mrs. Slocum.
She's a very private person.
You say that again. I don't even know what she calls her cat.
On the billhead, she signs the initial E.
Oh, well, that's easy then, isn't it? Happy birthday, E. Slocum. Happy birthday to you.
Well, before the presentation, we shall have to find out. For the moment, we'll just hum it. Now, these are the notes that Captain Peacock will be singing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
From now on, I shall always think of Mrs. Slocum as dear.
But, I fancy your name is Eleanor. Now, I mean, that's 3 syllables.
That's a good point, Peacock. Well, in that case, we sing Happy Birthday, dear. I think suits her better than her.
I believe her name is Esmeralda.
Well, that's 4 syllables, Mr. Rambo.
Yes, well, let's see how that fits in. Happy birthday, dear. Sounds like a bad attack of indigestion.
What are we going to sing now?
I'll settle for that. No, we'll have 2 ers.
I entirely agree. To err is human.
Well, the melody from Mr. Granger, Miss Brahms, and myself is quite straightforward. Mr. Humphreys and Mr. Lucas, here is your descant. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Do you mind if I have a word with my friend?
We don't think we can get the topper. You don't know what you can do until you try. True. Well, now, just Mr. Humphreys and Mr. Lucas. Ready? 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. There you are.
All right for you, my braces have gone again.
Well, let's try it all together. Now, at this time, I want you all to put more emphasis on the you. Make it more personal. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear, Then the grand finale, happy birthday to you.
One gets the feeling you've done this before.
I was a founder member of Derry and Tom's Glee Club.
No wonder they went out of business.
Well, if you're not going to wander down memory lane, I'm going to wander down and get me back.
No, Miss Brahms, come along. Everybody, all together from the beginning. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, it's nearly going home time. Ooh, I'm getting quite excited.
You going somewhere special?
Well, me and Mrs. Axelby are just going to have a quiet dinner at that little restaurant next to the dance hall. You know, opposite the American Forces Club.
Oh, is that what you brought your dancing shoes with you for? That's it. Good enough.
Where's the cake?
Oh, don't worry, my friend's delivered it to the basement. Mr. Harmon's going to bring it up.
Have you got the present?
It's here.
And what about her name for happy birthday to you?
Hang on, wait a minute. Look, Shirley wrote it out for us. There you are, for 1 each. Look how she's pretending to go home.
Oh, well, I must be off.
Just 1 moment, Mrs. Slocum.
Who, me?
We couldn't let today pass without making a little gesture.
Don't tell me you've remembered my birthday.
How could we forget?
Or be allowed to.
Ready when you are with the CAKE.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Mr. Humphreys, the present? Oh, yeah. There we go. Sir?
Mrs. Slocum. Dear Mrs. Slocum.
Yeah.
On behalf of your colleagues and senior staff and young Mr. Grace, 5%. You have much great pleasure in presenting to you this birthday gift.
Oh, you shouldn't have bothered. Can I open it now?
Naturally.
Oh, it's just what I've always wanted.
Lovely, isn't it?
Well, come on, let's have a look at it then. Oh, look, that's worth every penny.
Oh, you know, Mrs. Granger's always wanted one.
Well, I've had one of these for years. I wouldn't be without it.
I wish I'd had one in the desert.
I've never actually seen one before.
We're not going to tell you what it is. It's a secret.
Right, come along, everybody. All together.
Oh, what's happening now?
1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Mary, Elizabeth, Jennifer, Rachel, Abigail, Lisa. Happy birthday to
Here, she says she hopes it's appropriate to the background of the person what Mr. Humphreys described.
I am only 46.
Yes, I was wondering...
We are going on holiday. He wants some beachwear.
Yes, I want some beachwear.
Robes and swimming trunks.
Yes, a robe and some swimming trunks.
I've just said that, Claude.
Yes, she's just said that.
Yes. Mr. Granger, are you free for beachwear?
I'm sorry, Captain Peacock, but I'm brim steaming.
What a lovely action you have there, Mr. Green.
Are you free, Mr. Lucas?
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Peacock. This lady's looking for something large in white fronts.
Where's Mr. Humphreys? Is he free?
I'm free. Just had a disaster with my braces. I stooped to conquer an inside leg. There was a loud ping, and I had to finish up the customer with my hands in my pocket.
This lady says that this gentleman requires beachwear.
Oh, my word, doesn't the year fly quickly? 1 minute it's so come all ye faithful, the next minute you're flat on your back in the sand. It's hard to know which one enjoys the most. Now, what did Sir have in mind? We have Bermudas down to there, we have the shorts up to there, and we have the briefs up to there. Anything else is in the sports department.
We were thinking of going to the Orkneys.
How about some Harris tweed collars?
Now, don't worry if the wig is a little loose, madam. You'll find it will ride up with wear. Anyway, what was I saying?
You're in this pub on your own?
Oh, yes, I was just ordering a bottle of champagne for my birthday.
Your birthday? Oh, we haven't missed it, have we?
Oh, no. It's not for 3 days yet.
I was going to say, we haven't had a collection yet.
Oh, you mustn't think of buying anything for me. Well, not much anyway. Well, as I was saying, isn't it funny how you get into conversation with people? I mean, there I was sitting on this stool, and this man was right over at the other side. And all I did was take my shoe off and bang it on the counter to knock a nail back in. And he looked up and smiled. Well, after that, he must have been interested. And he must have been watching, because the minute I dropped my handbag and my change went all over the floor, he was on his knees, helping me.
Oh, was he good looking?
Well, you know that film where Steve McQueen played a racing driver with a limp?
He didn't look like Steve McQueen, did he?
Well, no, but he had a very similar limp.
There you are, sir. Would Madam care to see the shorts?
Oh, yes, of course.
Madam would care to see the shorts.
You are getting absent-minded.
It's a good job he remembered his wife, Fran.
Round the world, looking for the sunshine.
Mr. Harmon, how many times have I told you not to present yourself on the floor during opening hours?
It must be awful for you keep telling me off like that. It's making you frown. And if you keep frowning, you're going to look older and older. And Mrs. Peacock will find a younger man and leave you, and you'll go all to pieces and have to retire just because I keep coming on this floor, which I've every right to do since I got to deliver this to the gents department.
Have you quite finished?
Put it over here and connect it up.
What on earth is this?
It's the new model for if you want to get ahead, get a hat week.
That is why I was doing my brim steaming, Captain Peacock.
Mr. Granger's often shown me how to brim, steam, and shape, but I get the wrist action wrong. Every time I do it, it goes limp.
Your wrist or the brim?
That's it. Perhaps you'd like me to give you a demonstration.
Carry on, Mr. Harmon.
I like it. 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 I like it.
Well, that'll come in handy if you're carrying a couple of suitcases and you bump into the Queen.
That's funny. The eyes are supposed to light up as well.
Perhaps they only do that if the Queen's actually there.
Yes, well, now you've delivered it, Mr. Harmon. Please leave.
I can't. I've got another one for Mr. Slocum. Henry! Here, Mr. Slocum. It's the new model for the flexi girdle. It contains a figure what's out of control.
Captain Peacock, I hope that is not going to distract attention from my hat.
We're all working for the same store, Mr. Granger.
Well, I don't think it's fair. His moves and talks. Mine doesn't do anything.
Don't underestimate the Flexi Girdle Corporation.
Oh, well, I rushed on ahead to give them a chance to talk about my birthday.
I haven't reminded them yet.
Haven't you? Not that it matters, of course, but they'll be so upset if they find they've forgotten it.
Well, I haven't had time.
Anyway, should the conversation crop up, I'll leave the table and then you can have a confab. Only remember, I've got an ironing board and an iron and a coffee partner too. Anyway, as I said to Mrs. Axelby, if Richard Burton wants to give Elizabeth Taylor a diamond ring worth £2 million for her birthday, that's entirely.
No, I can't remember whether this is chicken soup or vegetable.
Well, taste it.
Well, that's not going to make any difference. Oh, that's confused everything. It's got a fishbone in it.
It's not a fishbone, it's a hair grip.
It's game soup.
I always think the grapefruit segments are safer.
That's what that fly thought, and he was wrong. It killed him.
You know, it's so expensive to eat out these days. And I took Mrs. Peacock to a little candlelit Greek taverna the other night for an ouzo and a gurunopoulou. Nothing particularly.
Of course.
And with a taramasalata and a portieri of raki to finish, it came to nearly £6.
It's nightlight robbery.
Was it her birthday?
No.
No one has to take one's wife out occasionally for an airing.
You make her sound like a spaniel.
She doesn't look at least like it.
Mind you, he has to tie her ears back when she's having the soup.
You're a junior, Mr. Lucas.
She has very beautiful ears. They give her a very pretty profile. Mind you, head on, it's a bit of a shock.
Well, I don't go out unless it's a special occasion.
Like a birthday?
I stay at home, you know, and do something exotic. Every now and again, my mother gets the Jimmy Young recipe book off the shelf, and we have a few friends round, and then we watch Warship.
Do you eat it while you watch it?
Only if it's calm. Then we pass the grog round, and we all take it in turns to pretend to be the commander getting cross.
Did your mother play the Admiral?
Only if she promises to go to bed early.
Well, I suppose she stays up late on her birthday. Anyway, while you all talk about birthdays, I'll just go and have a word with Miss Cumlosy in cosmetics.
What was all that about?
It was her idea of a subtle hint. In 3 days' time, it's her birthday.
So what? Well, it is one of her Grace Brothers' traditions, Mr. Lucas, that the departments club together to buy a little present on these occasions.
Oh, well, that's easy. Miss Brandt is the ladies' department. She can club herself together and get something really nice.
Oh, you mean as well as being oversexed.
The whole floor will club together, Mr. Lucas. Any suggestions?
I vote we give her a cyanide tablet.